What do the songs Heart of Glass by Blondie, Salisbury Hill by Peter Gabriel, and Tom Sawyer by Rush have in common? Well, they're all either completely or partially in 7/4 time. This is David Lockeretz with FindMyMusicTeacher.com, and today I'm going to talk about odd time signatures, 5/4 and 7/4 times in particular. These are mainly the types of time signatures that are associated with progressive rock, 20th century classical music, modern jazz, and others like that. But even if you mainly play blues or funk or R&B or punk music, it's still good to understand odd times, because if you practice riffs in 5/4 or 7/4 or 9/4 or whatever, it will make your 4/4 playing feel more comfortable. And remember too that even as we consider these odd times, it's very common for music from other parts of the world to feature these types of meters. As a matter of fact, there's even a joke about an American drummer who goes to do a gig in India and is told by his band director at the end of the gig, "Hey, you sounded good, but I need more of a backbeat on 6 and 23. Here all week, folks. Okay, here's the first example. I'm going to play several songs on my computer and count the beats off on my fingers to show you how these familiar melodies use odd time signatures. The first is one that you're probably familiar with. This is Lalo Schifrin's theme from Mission Impossible. So you notice how every time I get back to my thumb, the melody comes around again, and that kind of illustrates the 5/4 groove. Another example comes from Jethro Tull in their song Living in the Past. Very similar, actually, in rhythm to Mission Impossible. Now, one more example of 5/4 time is the Paul Desmond jazz standard Take 5. That's right, it's a Paul Desmond composition, not Dave Brubeck, although it was Brubeck who made it famous on his record Time Out, which actually explores a lot of odd meters in jazz, so it's a good record to check out. This is Take 5. So forth. So those are a few examples of melodies in 5/4 time. Now we're going to move to 7/4 time. And like I was saying, lots of people think of odd times such as 7/4 as being only used in progressive rock or modern jazz or whatever. Blondie is usually not the first thing that comes to mind. However, the interlude in their song Heart of Glass actually uses 7/4 time. Here it is. Need both hands this time. So forth. Now another example comes to us from across the big pond, Pink Floyd's famous bass line from their song Money. So forth. We're going to now look at an example that comes to us from north of our border. This is the interlude from Tom Sawyer by Rush. And one more example of 7/4 time, again from Pink Floyd's countryman, Mr. Peter Gabriel, Salisbury Hill. And so forth. So those are a couple of examples of familiar, even kind of catchy melodies that use odd time signatures. And remember, be open-minded to odd times. They'll help your playing no matter what meter you're playing in. And you never know when you might have to sit in with a polyrhythmic traditional Indian music ensemble. If you do, just make sure to remember that backbeat on 6 and 23, folks. This is David Lockeretz with FindMyMusicTeacher.com. Thanks for watching, and feel free to email me, David@FindMyMusicTeacher.com, with any questions, comments, or feedback. Now, have fun with your metronomes.